Welcome everyone, it's so nice to have you. We've got a special treat for you today. When it comes to my family, we have been farming for a very long time. I am in fact the 6th generation that was born and is working on this farm, and my kids are the 7th generation. People ask a lot of questions about this farm. Why did you start raising vegetables? How did you get to this point? When are you gonna do this? And the truth of the matter is, I don't have all the answers. Why? Because I'm not the boss. But today we're gonna be interviewing someone who has a few more answers than I do. My boss, my dad. Now, if you're a returning viewer or you're a first-time viewer, you probably will have a lot of questions about our farm. We've looked back over a few of our videos and picked out some of the questions that are very, very interesting and we think a lot of you would like the answer to. So today we're gonna be interviewing a 5th generation farmer, my dad. Now here's the funny thing, I didn't tell Dad what these questions were gonna be, so we could be in for a wild ride. He gives some crazy answers. Now, before we get started, I do like to show this image. We've showed it a long time ago. This is the old farmhouse in the background. This right here, this older gentleman, is my great-great-great-grandfather. This is my great-great-grandfather, and this is my great-grandfather. So there are the 3 generations that have started us out. After that, we have my grandfather, who I never had a chance to meet. You then have my dad and his 2 sisters, and then you have me and my 2 brothers. We would be the 6th generation. Now, if this is your first time here, I have 3 children myself, so that would be the 7th generation, just to give you an idea of how the generations have gone down throughout the years. So here I am with the boss. Are you ready for your questions?
I'm ready.
You ready? Are you sure?
No. Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
The first question we have for you is, how old were you when you took over the farm, and what was it like farming after your dad had passed away?
Well, I was 22 when my father passed away. It was, the reason for him passing away was something that happened on the farm. I grew up farming with my dad, so my dad kept me active in the farming from a little. So when I was just a baby, I was in the barn when they were milking cows, and then as I got older, I had jobs I had to do around the farm, so I just was always here. My sister, Rhonda, was 20, and my mom, and my youngest sister, Joel's mom, Dawn, was also with us. We had about 2,000 pigs on the farm. We had a farrowing herd, and we had baby pigs. Every 8 weeks we had a group having baby pigs, and then a lot of them we sold as little pigs, but then a lot of them the rest of them we finished out, and so that made a lot of pigs here on the farm. I enjoyed the animals, taking care of the pigs, but it wasn't what my favorite thing was to do. I liked the grain crops more, and the tractors and the cows, so we sort of got rid of the pigs then after my father passed away, and we tried grain farming for a while. That did not work. It worked okay for a couple years, but grain prices are up and down all the time, and we really didn't have enough acres to make a go of it with taking care of the whole family. So one day we saw an ad in the farm paper for a local cannery was looking for somebody to raise tomatoes and peppers for them. So we started raising tomatoes.
How did that go when you started raising the tomatoes and peppers?
It went well. We have a unique ground around here, soil. We can grow really nice tomatoes and really nice peppers. The yields that we had were tremendous. So we did for a couple years. We picked many trailer loads of tomatoes and many trailer loads of peppers. The problem we had with the cannery was they wanted us to plant the plants too early in the year. This is a cold valley. So an individual from the cannery, their growing guy, told me we should put up a little greenhouse and raise our own tomatoes and pepper plants. That way we can have them ready when we want them. So it was nice. A local greenhouse guy helped me with the greenhouse. And we started raising plants in the greenhouse for tomatoes and peppers to plant in the field. We were planting probably close to 1 million peppers and probably 500,000 tomato plants we were planting at that time. And my mom came up with a good idea to start raising some marigolds and some flowers and pansies, because we had the greenhouse anyway, so to sell plants, and that led us into our greenhouse business. And eventually we started selling more and more. We put up a little stand and we started selling more tomatoes and peppers in the stand. Then we eventually stopped with the cannery and just did the farm market.
Thank you for answering that question. That was a big one. You encompassed a whole lot of stuff after Grandpa had passed away. So then the next question we have for you is, what is your favorite thing to grow?
I think it's children. I got 3 good boys. I enjoyed that. I got three really good nephews that worked here on the farm all with us along, so I enjoyed that. I don't know if I have a favorite thing to grow. I enjoy raising corn. I enjoy running the combine harvesting corn, but I enjoy picking vegetables, and I enjoy raising cows. So I really don't have one thing that I particularly enjoy raising over anything else. I have a few things I don't like, but we don't have to cover that.
You mentioned your favorite thing to grow was children. So what was it like farming with little kids running around all the time?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my kids. As soon as they could walk, they were out in the fields with us.
Stepping on rotten peppers.
I remember you one day, we were ready to go and you didn't have your shoes, and we said it's time to go, and we took you without your shoes, and you ended up stepping on a rotten pepper and the juice came up between your toes and you cried for, I think, 3 days.
No, it wasn't 3 days.
Do you remember the day that you were little and you fell through the mud puddle and fell in the water?
It was like really cold. We were picking cabbage and I was running and I didn't wear the right shoes and I stepped in one of the little indents the tractor tire had made. It was muddy and it froze up and filled with water and I fell in the mud puddle. I think I was in the truck with the heater on in my underwear.
Yeah. Yep. So there was a lot of those incidences. As little ones, if you picked, when we were picking, our farm market wasn't as busy then, so April and I pretty much picked everything for the farm market and what we were selling. And my sisters were there helping us too. My brother-in-law Trey, the Veggie Funkle, worked with us for a number of years here on the farm. He helped with getting a lot of the vegetable business going. That was enjoyable, working together as family. As you guys started growing up, as the boys started growing up, if they picked a half a basket of peppers, that was a half a basket I didn't have to pick. We were happy with that. But I included you in all that, even the decisions I made. I always included the kids as a young age so they felt like the farm was theirs too. And that's how I've always felt with my sisters and my brother-in-laws. I tried to include them in as much stuff as possible so that they felt like everything was theirs. I never felt like the farm was mine. I felt it belonged to the family.
The next question I have kind of ties into that one. This was a big question. So we had, what was the farm like when the kids were around, but how are your children now a help on the farm?
Well,
I want to know the answer.
Everybody has their role, and April and I own the farm. The farm is ours, but I tried to never treat it as just ours. So my sister Rhonda works in the greenhouse. I sort of let her manage the greenhouse. She does a terrific job, and she's training Matthew to take care of the greenhouse. So although we all work in the greenhouse, a lot of the decisions Rhonda and Matthew make, and that's their part of the farm. Daniel, he does a lot of the tractor work, and he makes a lot of decisions. Together we make decisions about what to plant where and stuff. So Daniel takes care of a lot of that. And Andrew helps with a lot of fixing equipment and different things, and helps wherever we're needed to. It has all been a group effort. Part of the barn where we had all the pigs is the part that Joel uses for the stables and his mom. So they have that whole section. They built stalls in there, and they use that portion for the horses. They board the horses, and that's their income. So
yeah, very cool. So
maybe I could turn this way.
Yeah. So we've learned how you got into farming. We've learned what your favorite things to raise are, what it was like having kids and how they've grown. But how has farming changed for you over the years?
It has changed in the fact we have adjusted it so that we could make a living. I was privileged to sort of inherit the farm. So I inherited the equipment, I inherited the farm. My mom got some different programs that the government made available in Pennsylvania here for land preservation, so the farm could stay a farm and be preserved. So she got some benefits from that, so she was able to give the farm to April and I, and we had the equipment too, so I benefited by doing that. But as our income changed, as our need for income has changed, because of course it was just my wife and I. My sister Rhonda got married, and her husband, he was working here, and my other sister took this part of the farm, Dawn, what do I call her?
Whatever, Dawn probably.
We'll call her Dawn.
Yeah.
Joel's
Aunt
mom.
Dabby. Joel's mom, Aunt Dabby. We call her Aunt Dabby, but Dawn.
Yeah, Joel's mom, she worked on the farm a lot too, but she took the portion of the barn and stuff to make the stables, so that has been their income. And we've adjusted as we've needed. Like I said, we had the pigs, and I didn't care for being in the barn so long, feeding pigs and doing all that. So we adjusted from there to grain farming, and then we got into the vegetable farming, which pushed us into the greenhouse. And then
now we're back into beef.
Yeah, and we're raising beef. We enjoy raising beef, always enjoyed having cows. So we do what provides us with enough income to support everybody that we can all work together here.
So we've talked about how the farm has changed, but have you ever had any regrets when it comes to like growing a certain crop or like trying a certain avenue of farming? Do you have any regrets?
I don't really have any regrets. After my father passed away, I was very fortunate that a number of the older farmers in the area really helped me out a lot. They let me borrow equipment that I needed. They taught me different things about raising different stuff. So I was beneficial that way. And I always remember the one comment that an older farmer in the area told me. He says, when he saw us trying to raise all the crops that we were raising, he said, Brian, you're gonna have to make some decisions. He says, when you raise too many different things, you do nothing right. He says, when you raise a few things, you can do things right. So you're gonna have to do things the way that, figure out what the right way is. And that's what we've had. We've planted crops and we've had complete crop failures. And of course the weather at times or whatever happens may be the failure, but some of it's a result of us making a mistake, putting something on that we shouldn't have put on it, or fertilizing it the wrong way. So we've made those mistakes and we've tried to document them and learn from them. Some crops we've completely avoided. One that we raised that we struggled with was onions, and we made it a decision that it's just too much work for us, and we can buy the onions in from a local farm just as nice. So then we decided we wouldn't raise onions. So there was one crop that we didn't have to deal with. But a lot of the crops that we raise now, we've done trial by error, and we figured out how to raise them. Each crop is different. That's why some people in their gardens, when they plant, some things do well and some things do different. Everything's different, and it depends on the year too, a lot of it.
This is a big question we get in the comments, so I'm gonna ask this for a lot of the people because they ask me all the time. Do you ever plan to retire?
I don't plan to retire. I just enjoy what I do so much. Kind of funny, I work 7 days a week because I feed animals almost every day. I enjoy feeding animals, and in the summertime when I have time when we have days off, I find myself out in the field looking at things, checking things, doing things, tinkering around. So I really enjoy what I do. The only thing that'll make me retire is if I physically can't do it anymore, but I'm still young enough to, that's far in the future.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I hope to be a part of the farm until I'm in the farm, I guess.
Yeah, I guess what I've seen is no farmer ever really retires. They just work until they can't work anymore, and then they die.
Well, and you know, when we have the opportunity here, I can drive the tractor more. So you know, and my boys are doing that for me now. They try to give me some of the easier jobs. Sometimes they want me to do different stuff, but I enjoy what I do. I like to bend over and pick things. I like to do different things. So I don't want to stop doing that until I can't do it anymore.
Now you had an opportunity to start growing stuff and kind of build the farm up, and then you raised children while you did it. So how do you feel knowing that your grandchildren are going to have the same opportunities that we did, your kids had?
It's very special. One of the special things is when you live on a farm and you raise children on the farm, they learn so much about life. Everything that we have, we plant, and someone else takes care of us. We know who that is, our Creator. So we certainly are fortunate to be blessed that way. And it's no better way to raise children than to teach them how to work, how to enjoy life, and that although we work a lot, there's a lot of things that go on at different times where we find ourselves taking the middle of the afternoon and go and jump in the creek for a little bit. Or sometimes we sit under a shade tree and we just talk. And those are special times that you spend with your children as they grow up. And I hope to continue to see you do that with your children. And I have the opportunity to sit down and do more with them that way too. That, yeah, we work, but we also have time for each other.
Yeah, I always remember growing up, like just adding a little bit to this, I remember growing up and I would see kids go on vacation and I'd get so mad and be like, we never get to go on vacation in the middle of summer. Or during summertime when kids would have off school, I would have to work, but other kids never had the opportunities that I had to enjoy different aspects of life. Like we would work hard, but we would also play just as hard. So that was always cool growing up.
We did go on vacation though.
Yeah.
Do you remember some of the trips we would make? Usually around our anniversary, my wife and I, we would not take a trip ourselves. We would take the 3 boys with us, and we've done many things. We've got many places doing that. So
I remember going to like Niagara Falls. I remember going to the College Football Hall of Fame, the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Luray Caverns. I remember going down and exploring into some caverns and going to Florida. We always went to Florida. That's how I met my wife. Going down to Florida.
water parks.
The indoor water parks we've gone to, those were fun. So lots of good times. Not just a lot of work, but a lot of fun too.
Do you remember when your grandfather ran out of gas in Cozumel?
Yep. I remember we were in Cozumel, Mexico, and he was driving the dune buggy, and my grandfather ran out of gas, and he almost got stranded and left in Cozumel.
The funny thing was, Becky's husband, Jeremy, left him there.
Yep.
If I would have known, I would have went back.
Yeah, Dad would have went back, but my Uncle Jeremy left him. Totally abandoned him.
Yeah, Becky and Jeremy just left him there. I can't believe they did that.
No, Jeremy would never. And Becky on the other, no, and Becky would never either. So kind of in the theme of everything changing, you know, you got kids, grandchildren, the farm's always changing. Where do you see the farm in 10 years?
The farm continues to grow. So we are fortunate. We live in an area where the farm market works very well. And it's going to go wherever the boys, you guys want to take it, as much as you want to do. So we try to figure out and do enough to take care of our expenses and our bills for the year, and then we worry about the next year. So as much as they want to be involved and do, that's where it's going to go.
That's true. Whatever we want to do. I think I have one more question for you here. Let's see, the last question I had is, what goals do you have for the 2025 growing season? So the growing season we're just getting started with.
Oh, it's going to be exciting. We are going to do a better job at raising tomatoes.
No, that's almost impossible.
That's going to be
We
better.
had the nicest tomatoes we ever had.
The peppers, oh, they are going to produce better than ever.
Like crazy.
We are going to find that bear that's eating our sweet corn, and we're going to show him where the neighbor's corn is.
Okay, that's not nice.
Oh,
We're going to ask him to leave our corn.
Sorry, Logan. Well, we are going to do a better job with sweet corn.
What about potatoes?
The potatoes, we're going to do a better job with potatoes. They're going to be more even. They're even going to be more round. They're going to just be more beautiful.
More beautiful?
And the pickles are going to taste better. Pickling cucumbers.
You think so?
Yep. The hot peppers are going to be hotter.
So it's just going to be a good year.
It's going to be great.
Awesome. So, Dad, that's where we're going to stop the interview today. So I thank you for being here. Do you have anything you want to say to the people?
No, well, yes, I do. We appreciate you watching. Don't forget to press the like button.
Yep, the like button.
And subscribe, because that somehow helps us out a lot, which I do not know, but somehow that works and helps us out a lot. Andrew keeps telling me that.
It does help.
Even enjoy the ones that have stopped in and visited at the farm. It's been special to meet many of the individuals throughout the world that has been here. So we thank everyone for watching, and we appreciate that they'll be right along with us for an exciting 2025.
Yep. So that's where we're going to stop the interview. We asked quite a few questions. Dad did a lot of talking. It's hard to get Dad to be able to, like, I don't even know what I'm doing with my hat, to get an opportunity to sit down and actually talk to him. So if you guys have any more questions that you want Dad to answer, leave them down in the comments. Maybe if we get like a rainy or a snowy cold day up in the near future, or maybe if we just had like 15-20 minutes, I'll ask him some questions. You just need to leave them down in the comments section. And if you see a question that you like down there, like it so that I know that everybody is kind of interested in the same question. Sound good? Thank you. I hope all of you enjoyed. That's where we're gonna end the video today. A nice little interview with my dad. Now, the thing is, we can do this again. But like I said, you just gotta let me know down in the comment section what you guys like to see. Thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.